Hey, it's Empress Rose. Welcome to our collective reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Any interaction with the channel is fabulous. Like, subscribes, emojis, all of that. I love it. So we're starting here today with the scrying ball. And the main thing I saw in the scrying ball was Scooby-Doo. Only part of he had one ear down and one ear up. It was Scooby-Doo, but what, like if he had really long floppy ears. So that's interesting to me because last week we also had a dog with long floppy ears. This one's very attentive, very alert. It is very focused on something, and yeah, it's happily alert. It's not jumping up, it's not barking, it's not anything. It's just focused. And I think that's what the one ear up is meant to represent, is an intended focus on something. And the one ear down is like, I don't know, maybe I'm seeing like Anubis or like an Egyptian god. I don't know how Scooby and an Egyptian dog god like join up, but that's a little bit of what's going on here. And there's the moon. There's like a full moon here. And there's a dog and the moon. Anyway, okay, well, let's start with moonology. Well, we got the moon here. Let's start with moonology. Thank you for coming to watch this. All right, what do we got? Oh, okay, well, here's the full moon. Pretty much the same exact thing I'm seeing in the scrying ball, which is the full moon, which is the moon that we've been looking at since we were born. Surrender to the divine, full moon. Okay. Again, with the big processes, much bigger than you, much bigger than me. It's feels like the Wheel of Fortune energy we've been seeing a lot of here. Like you're on a path, let it play out. Let it play out as it will. You're not... It feels like a roller coaster has left the station and you are on for the ride until you roll back into that station. Then you can decide if you want to go for another ride again. But you are on this ride and something has to play out. And the less screaming and resisting you do, the better it will be. Which makes it sound like you're going to do a lot of screaming, or your instinct is going to be screaming and resisting. Should be a little bit fun, is what I'm saying. Should be a little bit fun, but has a similar message to last week. Like the die has been cast, we've already rolled, and the game is afoot. So something is going on here that is going to play out, and your best move is to let it. Just let it. Let them. Let it. Let it all play out. Adjustments are required though, third quarter moon. So that's really interesting. As I was like, surrender, adjustments. Adjustment could be the way you see a situation, the way you understand a situation. You may have to do some shifting, some internal shifting in order to be able to surrender. You may have to adjust a few things. I almost want to say like adjusting something to let it flow. Like, I'm seeing like the grates in the road, you know, and we get a lot of rain, but if it was just fall, then there's fall leaves on that. So then it's just like a big puddle. So can we stop the rain? No, we can't stop the rain. Can we stop fall? Can we stop the leaves? No, we can't stop the leaves. But we could pull those over the grate, off of the grate, and let the water rush through and let the water go down. We could do something like that. So that's the adjustment I'm seeing that you could be making here, is something that actually allows for greater flow and allows for this divine flow to continue, because there's a lot of things that are going to continue whether you want it to or not. So the one thing you can do, what is the thing you can do in this larger situation that you're not going to be able to stop? So the rain can't stop, the fall can't stop, the leaves won't stop falling. But you can do something to speed this along or allow the flow. It's almost in a way, it's like not even surrender to the divine. I'm seeing more like assist the divine, but not by stopping something, but by moving by getting things out of the way, out of the divine. Oh, it's like shuffling. It's like that. I think of it as a Canadian game, but it's the Norwegians that really win the fashion show of the shuffling. Their shuffling team has the best pants. So anyway, but they're like making the way, like this thing is going, this stone is gliding, and you can just kind of help it along, get to where you're going, and that's what I'm seeing here with this. Okay, and then a little Matt Hughes with the Dreamscape Oracle. And we've got Jack joining us. I don't know if you can see him on the navy couch here. Hey, Jack. You gonna sit on my lap? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, welcome. All right. Little Matt Hughes Dreamscape Oracle here. Okay. Well, falling on the floor, we have Palomino, work hard, play hard. Really put your back into it. I mean, in a very like OSHA friendly way, like put your back into it. Like, yeah, work hard, play hard, really focus energy. No way, you guys, we have the horse, right? And somebody noted that I was wearing a horse shirt last week. And the week before there were horses in the scrying ball, horses over here, horses over there, horses in the auspicious omen. There was just this horse reading. And then last week I was wearing a horse shirt, and then now we have the horse again. All about direction, movement. I want to say like horsepower. It's like transportation. For so long it was our main mode of transportation. It's got chariot card vibes. It's got that movement. And in a specific direction. It's not frenetic movement. It's like movement in a specific direction. So it's reminding me of the shuffling, right? This is like the horse, and this is sort of like, move the tumbleweeds out of the way. Horse is coming through. We want this horse to go exactly where this needs to go. So we're clearing the way for the horse. We're clearing the way for the water to make its way along its path through the whole water cycle. Yeah, so that reminds me of the whole water cycle. And there's a place where we have a place to play in this water cycle of letting something move through. So yeah, work hard, play hard. So either I'm seeing with the cards we have so far is you supporting someone else in sort of an intense schedule, in some intensity. They have directed movement. They have to do this. They have to do that. There's a direction that they're going, and you're supporting them while they do that, because the cards are on the table here for that is how I'm feeling about that. And then the other one is it's you, and just, you might have to adjust your schedule. You might have to adjust a couple things to make room for everything that's going to be coming through, both fun things, work things, all of that. There's a lot to be done here, and you're raring to go, and it's got some Fabio vibes. I also need to pay attention to this white hair right here, right? This big white pompadour. Because we also have white buffalo woman. And the thing that struck me was all of this white fur, I guess. We could also call it hair, white buffalo woman. So there's white or gray hair here, and which is interesting to me personally, but white buffalo woman. So pay attention to your spirituality, really digging deep in your spirituality, especially if you have a lot going on the physical plane. Any kind of spiritual practice is there to support that and help you move through all those energies intentionally with purpose, and not quite get rocked as hard with these like big outside forces that are moving through. So really paying attention to your spirituality and your spiritual practices. I also think there's rituals. You might be participating in rituals. Right now we're coming up on Thanksgiving. Well, when I'm doing this, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, because I know I've got this going on, so I'm doing it a little bit early. So, and then we'll be coming up on, all of these sort of ritual holidays, and maybe they're not our personal holidays. Maybe we don't believe in every aspect of how this holiday came to be, but we were all born into this culture, and these are our cultural holidays. And any culture we were born into, we're going to have some holidays, and some of them aren't going to drive with us, and some of them are. So anyway, so that's a little bit of reminding me of rituals. But also there's a sense of making peace with something. There's a sense of cooperation with others. And all of this sort of has a little air of mystical air through it. Yeah. Yeah. That came in kind of forceful. I think it was the horse. I think it was the horse that brought that in really strong. Okay, and then now we're going to be working with Tiger Breathing Bears deck again. And I think I'm ready again it's so wild, it's so out there that it can kind of throw me if I'm not ready for it. So hopefully we're ready for this. From the bottom of the deck, underlining 2 of arrows, a learning process. Some kind of difficulty. Oftentimes 2 of arrows, it would be 2 of swords, is a no, is a blockage. This card makes it look to me like it's a temporary blockage. There's skills that have to be learned. Oh, it's reminding me of this. Adjustments are required. You can no longer use the shovel to get the food into your mouth. You're going to have to use something a little more delicate, and it's got a learning process to it. So it's maybe not immediately apparent how you go about doing this or how you figure out what to do. There's a lot of directions, sometimes even opposing directions. Sometimes people give you, like, someone will tell you one way, another person will tell you another way to do something, and you may not be 100% sure how to do it. Yeah, there's a shift in how you're doing something. So with these ones, with this deck, it is a combination of like what I sort of know about each card and how it combines with the visuals here. So this isn't a no that we're getting off of this deck, but we're getting a go about it differently, and a learning process that may be a bit messy. Past, oh wait, that's from the, that would have been funny. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Yeah, I accidentally started putting them all down with this side up, so just would have been tiger, 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 tiger. All right, so this is fascinating. This is Temperance. And this is just reminding me of when Captain Jack goes, and this is Captain Jack right here. That's his name, is Captain Jack. And when he goes down into Davy Jones' locker and everything's reversed. So where you've been, it takes time and there's a trick to it. There's a trick, but there's not a trick. But it takes time to get balanced. Something is getting balanced and getting righted, and it's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of patience. Emotions seem topsy-turvy. Oh, there's also a sense where the feelings about something were placed over the thoughts about something. There's also a sense of direction here. And the way I have it sitting here, it's right on top of this palomino. There's a sense, so it's this horse, it's this movement. There's a sense of direction, but something about it seems opposite. And there seems to be like opposing forces here. The intellect's still been working, even though the emotions have overridden the mind. So there could be something where you're trying, your mind is still working on it. Your emotions may be misplaced, may be overwhelming what you know to be true, or what you know to be the smart thing, or some kind of communication. Your emotions may be sitting on that. But your mind's still been working in the background. Your mind is still back here figuring stuff out, figuring which direction to go in, sorting itself. But your emotions have maybe made it feel different. I feel like the Intemperance card, we're in service of turning this back up right. So your mind's going to be communicating with your emotions more, well, right now your emotions are like, I'm upset, but it's not wrong. It's just these two different ways, you know. So your emotions are like, I'm upset, and your mind's like, why? What's going on here? But we can also, often it's perceived as the other way, as our mind is going on, we're coming up with thoughts, and then our emotions are below that and respond to that. So I feel like the yin and yang of the universe is that either one of those positions is correct, and that they kind of need to be shifting sides, right? We want to be listening to our emotions, and we want our mind to be figuring out where these are coming from, because some of those are intuitions and some of those are things. But it's also true that the mind can dictate what emotions we have. So anyway, topsy-turvy, temperance energy. And then we have current situation, 8 of flowers. Here's what we've had so far. And you know what? There's something else. It's coming in to sort of, there's a compare contrast of, so, and it's the new thing, the new idea, the new intuition. Oh, and this is really cool because these, oftentimes the 8 of cups or the 8 of flowers has a moon in it. And it's our intuition telling us that there's more, that we can go on, that this is not the resting place, that there's something else and we want to go towards it. And the moon is usually depicted. And the way these are sitting on the table, we've got a full moon showing up in this card, even though it's not necessarily in Tiger Breathing Bear's deck. So this 8 of flowers, it's something new coming in. I think it's a new revelation, a new idea coming in. And what you have so far is good. It's good. It's sufficient. It's adequate. And we kind of had the same thing last week with the 9 of Pentacles in this place of, we are in a good place where we have what we need. This is adequate, but we know we need more. And that is about to take a bowling ball to our pins. So we have 8 pins set up, and but we know that the next step is to bowl. It's just to throw the ball. So here comes this big moon-like bowling ball, and it's coming for these pins that you've set up. This is what you've already had. These are the drinks you've already had. And here comes this last one. This is almost like the last shot of tequila of the night. And then the night is lost to oblivion after that. So this bowling ball is coming. So you have set up these pins, and either you're throwing this bowling ball like, yes, but we're going to the next game. But we're not just here to admire pins. We didn't come to this bowling alley to sit and look at the pretty pins and their pretty shapes and how they're all set up. We came to this bowling alley to play, to bowl. And so we are going to be throwing this ball, hopefully with some amount of skill, and so it stays in our lane and doesn't jump over to other people's lanes or go in the gutter. But we are this intuition is coming in to sort of, I'm getting Callie, like destroy these pins, but also reset them up. So there's a mechanism for that. So it's going to feel like, so these emotions and then something coming in, you're like, there's better. And it could be sitting next to temperance. We could be talking about something like, there's a better way to view this. There's a better way to go about this. Like, I've been really patient. It's something you've been very patient on, or have waited for things to sort of suss out, things to sort of settle in. And now you're kind of getting this idea that something needs to be improved upon. But you've been waiting for this information, or waiting, or trying to sort things out, how you feel and what you think. And it feels like now there's some clarity. And again, that direction coming in as far as, okay, which direction are you going to go? You may end up having to put some things by the wayside because of this direction coming in. So your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, High Priestess. This could be looking to tarot and really wanting tarot to give you some answers and to clarify this, especially with this full moon here, the intuition in the 8 of flowers. You could be really wanting some insight, some tarot insight, or some but it's also white buffalo, the spiritual practice. So not necessarily church, but a spiritual practice where we are connecting with our higher self, or connecting with our guidance system, whatever you identify that as, whatever you call that. We've got the high priestess here. You're really wanting to connect with that, or even be the high priestess, be more intuitive, follow your intuition more. I know that sometime in my mid-20s, I had this like, oh my gosh, I have this intuition and I would really like to be more in touch with that. How do you do that? And then a whole 20-year journey emerged, but, and is still going on. But I remember the moment when I was like, oh, intuition, I think I've stifled that. I think I'd like some of that. I don't think I want to intellectually think through everything. I want to have this understanding that can come through of its own accord without me necessarily having to do like math equations, which aren't appropriate to a lot of situations. I'd like to have some intuition. So that is definitely reminding me of this temperance card, of the logic, the emotion and the logic, and the topsy-turviness and the intuition. So I think this high priestess, you're either looking for guidance from a tarot deck or an intuitive or somebody like that. It could be a person, it could be a deck, or you're wanting to develop a closer relationship of your own to something like that because you're having this intuition, and I think you might be wanting confirmation about what this is, what this bowling ball is, or what this full moon is in your energy. Then we have what's at issue is 10 of fire. You're not there yet. I mean, but we've been getting there. You're not there yet. You don't, but 10 of fire, this is really interesting. So here it is in the upright. I love the matchsticks for fire, and here's a child. So there's a sense of passing the baton off when it's in the upright, of like, this is where you can now put your burden down, and this one is ready to carry it, or is learning how to carry it. There is an end to this worry. There is an end to these fears. When it's in the reverse, it is often that you're getting a gravity assist. Like someone's like, I'm going to take that from you. You don't need to worry about this thing anymore. And I'm here to assure you of that. And actually, like, let me help you take your coat off. Let me help you take your backpack off. You've arrived somewhere and someone is helping you to remove something that's been heavy to carry. Either backpack, a heavy coat. There are all sorts, that you've taken on. You set out on this journey. This was your idea. And someone's here to kind of help unwrap you and help you take off and let go and release what you're carrying, because we have this cyclical nature and you've got something new to carry. You can't carry the new thing unless you let go of the old thing. So there could be somebody here that's helping you to take that, to remove that burden, to take that energy from you, so that you can let something go. So you are letting something go, but there could be something in your environment, and it may be a little unpleasant, that is helping you release that. Because sometimes we don't. I remember having my cast cut off, and I don't know, that was like 30 years ago, more than that. And the big saw, I'm like this 11-year-old kid, and I'm like, what is going on? I just went through 2 months in this cast, and now you're gonna just like cut my arm open. So that's what I'm seeing here a little bit, is like, yeah, someone's taking the cast off, but it may be a little frightening actually. But there is some sort of assistance here, upright or reverse. There's an assistance here, and that doesn't show up in every single 10 of fire, 10 of wands. There is assistance here. It is this natural way of letting something go. We've got gravity, but see, gravity isn't behaving right over here, and it's not behaving right over here, but for some reason that works out well for you. So some sort of natural order of things has actually come to benefit you and help you here. The laws of the universe, the laws of gravity, are here to assist. And then we have 7 of flowers, which would be 7 of cups, which is usually about decisions. This is in your environment. This is in your environment. There's time. It's time to let go of something, but something, so I'm going to read this more intuitively. So normally Seven of Flowers, well, just in case both, we're going to do both. Seven of Flowers is about making decisions, in my opinion, but every deck I have has kind of a bit of a different take on it. Something's revealed. Decisions have been made. So what this feels like to me is decisions have already been made. They look like they're being made. They look like they have been made. Oh, this High Priestess, you want to see the future. You would like some reassurances about the future. Okay, back to Seven of Flowers. A decision has already been made. It's already very clear to somebody in your environment. It's already clear. The decision's already been made. You may be perceiving them as still making a decision, as still, it could be a person, it could be a company, it could be a boss, it could be a lover, it could be anybody. You're perceiving them as still in a decision-making process. But the decision's already been made. The seed has already been planted and sprouted. The process is actually, the decision-making process, or the fruitfulness has actually already been decided. You do not need to worry about it. And that's giving this as well. And then also we have this younger generation here and the younger generation here. This is already undergoing. The process, this decision's already been made. Whether it's for your benefit or not, I think part of why you shouldn't be worrying about this, whether the decision is something you want or something you didn't want, it's already been made. And that's a bit of why you're not to worry about it. A decision has already been made, and it has already been planted, and it has already sprouted, but you're still looking over here at this process and getting this illusion of a process when in fact there's no process going on here anymore. Your to-do list is Three of Flowers. Have a party, have fun, celebrate. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So you're not worrying about something, you are celebrating something. Yeah, celebrate, enjoy this, have the party. And maybe it is a productive party. Maybe there's something very productive about this party. Maybe there's something really interesting and exciting about this party. And also it could be like a work party, or it could be something about that where there's productivity. There's a lot of happiness. The sun is here. There's a lot of food, and imagination, daydreaming, dream big, but have fun. It's interesting though, like, because Three of Flowers, this is you and your friends. You are out here, and your people, whatever they are. You're out here, you're having a good time, you're celebrating something. You're celebrating something, but there's this bird here, and I'm only noticing that because we have what comes next is the monster. So we have this bird here, and this bird could be pecking away at different things here. Actually kind of enjoying your party, but also taking advantage of your party. I wouldn't say stealing, but just this party has something about it, right? And this definitely has some party vibes here too. So this party definitely has something about it that's very beneficial to somebody else. But yeah, it seems like celebrate something. And then we have the monster coming up. This is the Devil card in this deck. Again, we have these instructions. So it's bringing me back to this Two of Arrows, which we started off with as far as these instructions, a learning experience, a no that is navigated in a very different way than we originally thought we would be navigating it. A little more difficult way, a little more refined way. So there's this no that seems to be a little bit, we're going to have to refine what we're doing and shift a little bit about how we do this. This monster comes in at the end, and I think what it's talking about is this party may have some glitches to it, and it's warning you. It also, like, if we're going to have a Three of Cups, and especially with this could be somebody drink being involved, or drinking or drugs or something, which is fine in moderation, of course, but once it gets to be too much, then we end up in monster realm. So there could be some kind of party here where somebody ends up having a bit too much, misbehaving, being difficult. It could trigger, like if you have a history of alcoholism, the holiday season, it's just a warning, could be, you already know this, could be very triggering for just both emotional needs coming up, and the kind of janky little coping mechanisms that we come up with in the moment that aren't long-term actual coping mechanisms but make everything worse. Alcohol is always the answer and the problem. It's both. So you could be like experiencing that, or having to deal with someone else that experiences that and has a little bit of a backslide into something that's very difficult. And this party could trigger that. It could also be someone here to sort of break up the party. You know, if you have an open bar at a wedding, someone who drinks too much and gets sloshing drunk. I don't know why that one keeps coming in, because I'm not a teetotaler myself. I just, like, you know, I'm aware that there's a lot of problematic substances. But it's not just the substances. This could be somebody's lying. Like there's this bird here to eat these sunflower seeds, or is waiting for the sunflower seeds. So there could be something about that, about someone waiting for vulnerability, or waiting for something to come to full fruition. There could be something about a party here in which there is some very big difficulty during the party or after the party. And it may be something said during the party that creates a problem, or something. This isn't saying don't go to the party. This is saying go to the party. This is also giving you a warning that there could be issues. You could have a grody ass uncle at the party that you have to deal with. You could, I mean, this is saying go to the party, but this is saying also, hello, there's a monster either there or immediately afterwards. And this can be like the oversharing hangover, the actual hangover, the rehashing and recapping where someone's like, oh, you were a jerk, you said that. So there's a lot of ways in which this monster could show up after a party. So just be aware. Go to the party, but be aware that like, I don't know, take your pepper spray. This monster could be a lot of different things. There could be difficulty, fallout from the party. Someone could just be very grumpy about it. Turn that music down. Okay, now we're going with auspicious omens. We're going to close out this reading. We're ready to do that now, I think. Although this monster has me completely intrigued. But I think it's going to be different for every person. It's going to take some restraint. There's a sense of like almost having to hold somebody's arms down. All right, the monster could show up to the party. Still go to the party. Maybe it's you that needs to come into this with this understanding of like, this could be happening. Not to be scared of the party, still have fun at the party, but there is something there that could be a little questionable. So Aja, you are being invited to connect to the healing powers of plants and animals. Okay, so smoke the weed, don't drink the drink. Plants and animals. Beautiful, grounding energy. Go to this party very well grounded, please. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you have what you need. Connecting to earth energy. Calm, present, secure. You belong. Maybe that's what the thing is do I belong at this party? You do belong at this party. You belong on here. You belong with us. You can connect. You're invited to connect. I think that could be like one of the key takeaways. You are invited to connect. All right. I hope this was helpful. enjoy your holiday season for those of that live in the north, and I guess the south too. We're entering the big push season for holidays. So anyway, ciao.